Okay, this should be our final slide presentation for this preview on basically undergrad basic finance. And this last thing I want to spend a few minutes talking about is annuities. These are really the numbers that go into the PMT function of the time value of money. So, what we're really talking about is a series of periodic payments that are either received or paid over a period of time, depending on what side of the transaction you're on. An annuity, there are two different types. One is an annuity due, and the other is just known as an ordinary annuity. So, we'll talk a little bit about what these two different types mean. Excuse me. An annuity due is an annuity where the payments occur at the beginning of the period. So if you think about your rent, you actually don't pay rent for the month that you just live there. You pay rent for the month you're about to live there. Same with such as cable bills. Typically, if you still have cable in your home for TV, you typically pay that in advance as well. Um, Insurance. Some car insurance as well is paid in advance rather than in arrears. And an ordinary annuity is an annuity where the payments occur at the end of the period. Most annuities that we're going to talk about in finance are actually ordinary annuities. If you look at your financial calculator, I have on here BGN/end. That basically is begin or end, and that means when the payments are received. If you're in BGN mode or beginning mode, that means that you're doing annuity dues. It means that the payments are paid at the beginning of a period. If you're in end mode, that means you're doing ordinary annuities because that means the payments are made at the end of a period. So if you have if you have a payment every year for 5 years, if it's in begin mode, that means that your first payment is today. If it's in end mode, it means your first payment is a year from today. So most of the time in this class, we will deal with ordinary annuities. If I don't tell you what type of an annuity, you always assume it's an ordinary annuity. There's one more type of an annuity, and that's a perpetuity, and that's an annuity that lasts forever. They have no maturity. They just keep paying $20 a year every year from now until the end of time. We'll talk about these a little bit later. Basically, preferred stock is what a perpetuity is. Preferred stock pays a dividend the same amount every year until the end of time or until the company no longer exists. So those are really the basics of business finance. That's what I want you to be aware of and be very familiar with so that when we start in class on Thursday talking about weighted average cost of capital and capital budgeting, I won't have to spend time talking about, okay, we find the present value. I won't get the questions, what do you mean by present value? So hopefully you've understood this. Hopefully all of these have worked since I've done them a few times. So I look forward to seeing all of you Thursday night at 5 o'clock.